is May, and welcome back to my channel. I've been crocheting for quite some time now, and I think I started around November or October of last year, so it's been almost a year now, and I've crocheted a lot since then. Today I kind of feel like showing off, so that's what we're gonna do in this video. I'm gonna show you guys everything that I made and separate everything into different categories. So the first category that I'm gonna start off with, which is the most fun in my opinion, is clothes. And the first thing that I crocheted in this category is a scarf. Like I said, I started crocheting around the time where it was like winter season, and I thought it was the perfect time to just experiment, kind of dip my toes into like crocheting clothes. I thought the easiest way to learn all that would to be making a scarf. I wore this everywhere I went because it was just so warm. It's very long, but I like that it's very long. I think it's like the perfect length for me personally. It's a really nice color, and if you look closely, there's like a bit of sparkle. It's not perfect because I was still pretty new to crocheting, and if you look closely you can kind of see like the flaws, but I still love it regardless, and it's still one of my favorite things I've ever made. The second thing that I made was this black sweater vest. It's a little oddly shaped. I was following this tutorial on YouTube, and nothing against that creator, I think I messed it up, so it doesn't look as good as the way that creator made it, and also it doesn't fit that well on me. Like, it fits, but I don't know what to say. It doesn't fit the way I want it to, and I don't think it looks that good on my body, so I think I might like give this away or sell this to someone. This was the first top I ever made, right? And it was so difficult, especially because it's black yarn. If you're in the fiber arts community, you know how difficult it is as a beginner to start crocheting with black yarn. So I was struggling, and I had to restart like 8 times. I literally took everything apart. I took away like 5 rows worth of like just stitches just so I could fix it, and it was so it was a nightmare. But you know, your girl made it through, and I was still able to make like a presentable top. Next is this brown corset that I made. It looks a little wonky, but if you put it on, like, it looks normal. Same thing with this corset. Like, I kind of messed up the measuring. I forgot that like this type of yarn is like more stretchy, so I didn't realize, like, I didn't account for like the stretch, so it's not as fitted on me as I wanted it to be. I haven't really worn it because I just don't like the way it looks on me. Your girl's learning, and I know now to account for the stretch when I'm measuring. By the way, I will try my best to link all of the tutorials that I followed for all these things that I crocheted in the description below. If you guys are interested in making any of these things, you guys have easy access to them, just so you guys know. The next thing that I made is this white headscarf. This is also one of my favorite things that I've ever made because it was so much fun. One of the things that I was struggling with the most when I started crocheting was tension, because I would pull too tightly or I would pull too loosely, and like it would really mess up the way the pattern looks. But this really helped me learn how to fix my tension and like the way I hold the hook and the yarn. So this was a really good learning experience for me, and because I enjoyed making that headscarf so much, I decided to make a purple one. I took inspiration from Pinterest because I saw one like this and I thought it was adorable. I decided to make one for myself, and I kind of messed up because I didn't really do the sewing right. I had to sew every like square together, right? But I didn't know how to do that. So I kind of just slip stitched, which is, you know, it's fine, but it didn't turn out the way I was expecting it to. And not only that, but it fits weirdly on my head. Like, I don't like the way it looks on me. I think maybe I'll give it away or put it up on my wall or find somewhere to like decorate it, because, you know, I still really like this. I still think it's super pretty, but like I said, like, it doesn't really fit my head the way I want it to, and it looks kind of weird. Just like the other one, it was a really good learning experience. And the next thing that I made are these hand warmers. I also found inspiration on Pinterest, and I decided that I wanted to make hand warmers, and I thought it would look really cute with like different outfits. And I was also really inspired by New Jeans and their concepts and all their outfits because I thought it was really cute, and I was like, this is so New Jeans, and like, oh my god, if I put on like rings it would be super cute if I did my nails and then had like matching leg warmers. And speaking of leg warmers, the next thing that I made are leg warmers. One of the YouTubers that I watched that really inspired me and made me want to start getting into crocheting clothing was Red Bean on YouTube. I think that's her name. Yeah, so I followed her tutorial how to make these cute little leg warmers with the bows, and it came out so great, and I'm just really proud of them. I really like the way they look, and I have yet to wear them outside because I'm still a little nervous with wearing my crochet pieces outside. One, because like I'm not that confident yet with them, and 2, like, I'm scared that they'll get dirty or ruined in some kind of way. And not only that, but this is like a whitish color, right? And like white gets dirty really easily, so I'm nervous, but I made it and I gotta put it to use in some kind of way. I'll get there eventually. And the next thing that I made was a tote bag, but I don't have that anymore because it was a gift from my friend. And if you watched my last video, you'll know that I was working on it for quite a while because I procrastinated Anyway, I procrastinated from it, but I finally finished it and I gave it to my friend and she really liked it and she got a lot of compliments on it too, so I was like, yeah, I worked super hard on that bag and I'm really proud of it. It was also a really good learning experience. If you watched my last video, you'll also know that I made this tiny hat. Where is it? This tiny hat. It was like an inside joke with one of my friends and he told me to make a tiny hat for this big plush. He said it would be really funny, so I was like, yeah, you're right, and I decided to actually make it. This little hat was really fun to make. Like, it didn't even make a dent in my yarn. It was so easy to make. And then along with that, because I thought it was like really funny, I decided to make that friend like a matching hat. You can see here there's like a little strap as well that you can tie, and it's just a little cowboy hat. I just find it really funny how the pile of the things that I just showed you guys is growing bigger and bigger. So the last piece of clothing that I made so far is this bolero. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, I made this yesterday actually. Like, it took me an entire day just to sit and finish this entire thing. Originally, I wasn't really into like the fishnet style of like these kind of shoulder sweaters because I didn't think they looked nice. Like, I thought they looked kind of weird. I don't know, they've grown on me and I actually really like them now. It looks very like soft and feminine, but also because of the fishnet pattern, it gives it like a nice little juxtaposition, as best dressed would say. All the best dressed girlies know. I'm really proud of how this turned out. Moving on to the next category. So I was kind of experimenting with like jewelry and I tried making like a necklace, a little choker, but I didn't do it right because I used too big of a hook. And not only that, I also used the wrong yarn because I was supposed to use very fine yarn, right? But I didn't have any. So, and not only that, but I don't know where it went. I can't really show you guys what I made, but that's the first thing that I tried making. Along with that, I also made little hair bows, like you can see here. Basically, what I wanted to do was tie little hair bows because I thought it would look really cute. Not only that, like, you can pretty much use this for anything. Like, I was thinking I could use these for my headphones as well. They're a little long, but I'm hoping that if I double knot them or triple knot them, it'll solve all my issues. I also made that little headphone sprout. Let me show you. Here. I think it's absolutely adorable. Well, I can't even hear myself now. I really like the way it looks. I think it's super adorable. I'm really excited for when I'm traveling, when I'm going on the train, when I'm commuting somewhere, like I can just throw them on and it'll be like a cute little accessory to my outfit. I made my brother one as well and he didn't even notice it. Like, I put it on for him because he was gone, right? I was hoping he would say something about it, but he didn't like mention it at all. So I was like, did he even see it? So I went up to him and I was like, oh, did you like your headphone sprout? And he was like, what? Your headphone sprout? And then he checked his headphones and he was like, what? I didn't even see them. He was like, I was wearing them the entire night and I did not notice that they were on the back of my headphones at all. I just think that's really funny because he was wearing them the entire night and he didn't notice that I made headphone sprouts for him at all. He really likes them and I'm glad he does. Okay, so the next category is amigurumi or plushies. The first two things that I made were this egg and this star plush. You can see here, I literally just made an egg and a star. This was originally supposed to be a gift for my friends, but I didn't really understand amigurumi yet. Am I saying that word right? I hope I am. But anyway, I didn't really understand it yet and I didn't know that I had to sew on like a face before closing it off. I'm pretty sure there's a way to like sew on a face even after. I don't know, I kind of like it as just an egg. I think it's cute as like a little stress ball kind of thing. Originally intending to make egg dog, if you know that meme. My friend's like obsessed with egg dog. But anyway, she loves egg dog and I wanted to make him. I kind of just don't have the energy to add arms and legs either, so I also made this little miffy plush and it's super wonky because, like I said, it's one of the first things that I've made. Amigurumi was still like pretty hard for me at first. I'm not really proud of this, to be honest. Like, it's not bad, but it's also not my best work, so I kind of just keep it in this little bag away from me. Sorry, Miffy. I think I redeemed myself when I made this little cat plush, the strawberry cat. It doesn't even look like a cat. It looks like a little bear or like a little dog, but I think it's super cute and I have yet to put it on one of my bags. It's matching with this little strawberry keychain that I made, which is also pretty cute. They're matching. Yeah, I think I definitely redeemed myself with these because they look a lot better than my Miffy plush does. If you watched my most recent video, you'll know that I made gifts for my friends and I made two My Melody plushies. Like, it's just their little head and I gave them away, so I don't have them right now, but you can go and check out that video to see how I made it. And I also made myself a matching kuromi. She's a little derpy, but I still like her better than the Miffy plush. At this point, anything is better than the Miffy plush. Last most recent thing that I made from this section was this little Iron Man plush. I know, he's very derpy as well. Maybe amigurumi is just not my thing. Whatever, it's not bad is what I tell myself. I think it's cute though. This was originally intended to be a gift for a friend. It was supposed to be for that same friend that I made the cowboy hat for. These two were supposed to be given together as a gift. Like I said, I never got around to giving that friend these gifts because we had a falling out, and it wasn't like a really crazy messy falling out. It was just like an unexpected thing that happened. That's just kind of how it is right now. So I'm still really sad that I never got to give this to him because I worked really hard and I was really excited about it. Like, you can ask all my friends, they know how excited I was to give these gifts to that friend, especially this little Iron Man, because I worked so hard on this Iron Man. This is by far the most difficult thing I have crocheted in my entire crochet career. This took a lot out of me. I had to restart like 3 times because I kept messing up and I just couldn't get it right. You know, I'm starting to realize that amigurumi probably isn't for me. But anyway, it's not like I'm mad or angry at that person, right? Like, I don't have any hatred towards them, and like I don't feel like throwing these away out of spite or anything like that, because why would I? I still care about that person, and like maybe one day I'll meet them again and I'll be able to give these to him. For now, I'm just gonna keep it in the corner and let it collect dust. Maybe not the Iron Man though. I kind of just keep it on my desk because I find it really funny and it just kind of stares at me. This Iron Man has a lot of sass. Let me tell you, like every time I do something that I shouldn't be doing, I look over at this little Iron Man staring at me on my desk. He gives me like the dirtiest look. Look at this Iron Man. He is so judgmental. Do you guys see what I have to deal with every day? This Iron Man gives me so much sass. If I want to be humble, I just have to look at this Iron Man. Anyway, so that's the lore behind that Iron Man plush and that cowboy hat. Should I even put this part in the video? I mean, I don't think he really watches my videos anyway, so does it matter? Probably not. If you are watching this, hi. I hope you're doing well. Something that I forgot to mention was that when I first started crocheting, one of the first things I ever made were a pair of baby mittens and a baby hat for my nephew, because my sister-in-law was still pregnant, right? So I was thinking like I could give them a little gift for their baby shower, and those were my gifts, right? So I don't have them anymore, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find a picture somewhere. Insert it like here somewhere. In my last video, I showed you guys this crocheted mood blanket that I've been working on. I'm sitting on it right now because I don't really have anywhere to put it, and it kind of just falls perfectly on this chair. This is my mood blanket, and this is how it looks right now. If you guys want to see it, you can check out my last video. Some other random things that I also made were a crochet pouch for all my hooks and my needles and stuff like that. It looks like this. I made this pretty early on in my little crochet career, so I didn't really know how to sew yet, so I didn't do this right, so it's kind of falling off. Well, it's not falling off, but it's just very loose. It's supposed to be a heart, if you couldn't tell. This was super difficult for me to make. Like, I didn't understand how to color change yet. I was struggling the entire way, but you know, I still made it through. Your girl still got a cute crochet pouch out of it. Oh, I also forgot to mention that the first like actual thing that I ever made was this coaster. It does not look like a coaster. It looks like a little snowflake or just a little flower. Like I said, like when I first started, I was really struggling with tension, and I didn't know how tightly I had to hold the yarn and the hook, so I didn't understand like that I had to like let loose at certain parts and like pull it a little tighter. So like, you know, I didn't do an awful job, but it doesn't look like a coaster. And not only that, but I used like the wrong kind of yarn, so that's why it's so flimsy like this. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed seeing all my little creations, and I hope maybe it inspired you to want to try crocheting yourself if you don't crochet. And if you do crochet, I hope it inspired you to branch off into different categories and different things, because I've definitely tried a lot of different styles of crocheting and different patterns. I challenged myself a lot and I learned a lot, so don't be scared. Crocheting is really fun once you get the hang of it. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of time, but once you get the hang of it, it's really not too bad. It's not that hard. So yeah, I really recommend trying it if you haven't already. And that is all for me for today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!